iHeart Podcasts. Hear more Gold 101.7 podcasts,
playlists, and listen live on the free iHeart app.
You're listening to the Jonesy and Amanda podcast.
Well, life has changed dramatically since the last time we spoke to Guy Montgomery. He's been on tour, he's won a Logie, and he's welcomed a baby. Didn't just have one, he welcomed it. Quite the underachiever. Well, in an effort to make this year even bigger, he's taking his hilarious new show. Now, have I got this right? Guy-Mont's Guy-Mont spelling bee, or is that a typo?
Hang on, you've got to say, here's Guy Montgomery.
I'm about to. Hello, here is Guy Montgomery himself.
Here he is. Okay, now ask
Jonesy, Amanda, thank you so much for having me. And might I say what a pleasure it is to see you both again. It's been a matter of years. You know, and that's not written on anyone's faces. That's just information. You know, I'm not here to put anyone down. But yeah, no, it's been a big few years. And to correct the title is Guy Montgomery's Guy-Mont Spelling Bee is the official working title of the show.
Why does it have to be so that?
So the reason it has to be the reason it is that, and that is a non-negotiable, is I started doing this just on YouTube as a lark. You know, this was like off Broadway, just to muck around with friends. And then from there, it became a live show in New Zealand. Then it became a TV show in New Zealand. And along the way, I kept pitching the title because it was so daft and waiting for literally anyone to push back and say, I'm sorry, but we've got to give it a better title than that. Didn't happen in New Zealand. Brought it to Australia. Didn't happen in Australia. And now I'm saddled with this sort of non-functioning pun.
It works. It works. I did a show called RPM, and they said, we want to do a little bit. It was about cars and motor racing. It had Alan Jones, the Formula One champion, and they said, we wanted a little bit of a video thing, have someone, guys riding lawnmowers doing stuff. And what do we call it? And I said, well, we're going to get some sort of snappy title, some snappy titled video. And then they just went, that's what it'll be. So it became an STV.
Snappy titled video.
That was it. So on the screen, it just said STV. Snappy titled video.
STV, perilously close to the acronym for a much more famous ST consonant.
Well, that's right, and no one wants that in full screen under your face.
No, and that segment doesn't exist anymore.
No, fair enough too. Well, tell us, your life has just exponentially exploded. Logie, baby, which one is on the shelf more often? Which one do you value the most?
Well, on the shelf, to be fair, on the shelf is the Logie. But if it was, if it was to come down to it, if there was a house fire, I would be taking the baby. Okay. But yeah, no, I mean, it's been, it's been amazing. It's totally realigned, my world. I just have so much, I felt so connected to the universe after our baby was born. Like, I just was like, I was crying at the birth. I was like crying to my partner going, you were a baby. And then I was looking around the room at my midwife. I was going, you were a baby. And for about a week, all I could do was say to people, you were a baby. I just felt completely overwhelmed.
Had you sucked on the gas, Guy?
Actually, when the midwife was out of the room, my partner did offer me some of the gas, but I wanted to keep my head on a swivel. How about this, though? When we were there, it was an early morning, or not that early morning, sort of regular morning birth, and we'd been there for 4 hours or so, and the midwife came up to me and said, have you had anything to eat? And I said, no. And so she went out into the little kitchenette and brought me back some toast and tea and gave that to me. She said, there you go, have that. You've got to keep your energy up. And I said, thank you. And as soon as I sort of was next to the birthing pool holding my toast and tea, she took our camera out and just took while my partner's labouring. There's a photo of me holding a piece of toast up to my mouth with a cup of tea. It's the most it's such an incriminating photograph.
Oh, how cavalier and up himself is he?
She set you up.
Yeah, she did.
She should have bought you a kebab.
Yeah. Well, I will also say, it's crazy. The first 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you're just riding so high, hormones surging, just absolutely riding a wave of love for everyone and thing. And then the hormones drop and your exhaustion kicks it. Like anything that was asked of me, I was happy to do. And then, of course, the exhaustion, catches up. And you sort of plunge back into reality where anything that I was letting slide previously, I was like, hey, I know we've got a new baby and you did all the work, but I'm going to need someone else to put these spoons in the dishwasher.
That toast won't eat
And
itself.
don't even mention the sex word. I'll just say
Oh,
that.
come
No, I just
on.
don't even.
Come on.
Don't even. I'm just saying to you, I've been down this path.
The way you presented it, you mentioned the sex word explicitly. It was like it was
Yeah, the sex
the most
word.
prominent word in the
Yes.
sentence.
You're supposed to say the S word, maybe.
That's true. That's true. I meant to say the S word.
There was no ambiguity.
Anyway, I misspoke. Guy, it's so great to talk to you. For tickets and tour information, head to livenation.com.au. Guy Montgomery, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.